Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank, and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no picture or conversations in it, and what is the use of the book, thought Alice, without pictures and conversations? So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the whole day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, where the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the diseases, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eye ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit to say to itself, oh dear, I shall be late," when she thought it too. Afterwards it occurred to her that she ought to have wanted it at this, but at the time it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of its waist pocket and looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it, and burning with curiosity she ran across the field after it, and fortunately was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for some way, and then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself before she found herself falling down a very deep well. Either the well was very deep, or she fell very slowly, for she had plenty of time as she went down to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen next. First she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything. Then she looked at the sides of the well, and noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures hung upon pegs. She took down a jar from one of the shelves, and at the past it was labeled orange marmalade, but to her great disappointment it was empty. She didn't like to drop the jar, to fear of killing somebody, to manage to put it in one of the cupboards as she fell past it. Well, thought Alice to herself, um, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing to tumbling downstairs. How brave they will think me at home. Why, I wouldn't say anything about it, even if I fell off the top of the house, which was very like true. Down, 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 would the fall never come to the end? I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time, she said aloud. I must be getting somewhere near the crate of the earth. Let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down. I think for you, Alice, and learned several things of the sort in her lessons in the schoolroom, and thought he was not a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as there was no one to listen to her. Still it was good practice to say it over. Yes, that's about the right distance, but then I wonder that latitude or longitude I've got through. Alice had no idea what latitude was, and longitude either, but thought they were nice grand words to say. Down, down, down. There was nothing else to do, so Alice soon began talking again. "Dee Howe miss me very much tonight, I should think. I hope they'll remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Dear, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and there was very like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat beets, I wonder?" And here Alice began to get rather sleepy, and went to saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way, "Do cats eat beets? Do cats eat bats? And something, do bats eat cats?" For you see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't much matter which way she put it. She felt that she was dozing off, and had just begun to dream that she was walking hand in hand with the Deha, and saying to her very and honestly, "How, Dina, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat?" when suddenly thump, thump, Down she came upon a heap of sticks and dry leaves and fell was over. Alice was not a bit hurt, and she jumped up onto her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark overhead. Before her was another long passage, and the white rabbit was still in sight, hurrying down it. There was not a moment to be lost away when Alice liked the wind, and was just in time to hear it say, as it turned a corner, "Oh, my ears and whisker, how late it's getting." She was close behind it when they turned the corner, but the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long lower hall, which was lit up by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. There were doors all round the hall, but they were locked, and when Alice had been all the way down inside and up the other, trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. Suddenly she came upon a little three-legged table, all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it except a tiny golden key, and Alice's first thought was that it might belong to one of the doors of the hall, but alas, either the locks were too large or the key was too small, but at any rate it wouldn't open at the time. However, on the second time round she came upon a long curtain she had noticed before, and behind it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tied the little golden key in the lock, and her great delight it fitted.